Hello everyone, I am Blessie Chavarria and my partner for this activity is Ronald Batlagan. We are students of National University College of Architecture. This presentation is all about our project for solid mensuration entitled Freestanding Pergola. So what is a pergola? A pergola is an outdoor garden feature forming a shaded walkway, passageway, or seating area of vertical posts or pillars that usually support cross beams and a sturdy open lattice, often upon which woody vines are trained. Now, we will present to you our project. Mr. Leo Santos, 40, had worked as an OFW for over 10 years as a butcher at a meat shop in Vancouver, Canada. However, due to the pandemic and mandated stay-at-home orders, Mr. Han, the owner of the meat shop, has left with no other choice but to shut down the shop permanently due to bankruptcy. The coronavirus pandemic has left the shop in horrible shape. Mr. Han gave 1,000 US dollar each of his employees as their last salary and compensation. Mr. Santos, who just turned unemployed, decided to return home for good since he saved up enough money to support and send her daughter to school until college. He handled the paperwork and documents for about 2 weeks due to the restrictions of traveling. When he arrived in the Philippines, he stayed in a hotel for 14-day mandated quarantine. During his quarantine, he came up with lots of plans such as renovating their house, opening a business like coffee shop, resort, etc. He wanted to start again because the money saved up are only enough for his daughter's education. They still have their daily living expenses and besides, he doesn't want to be unemployed forever. He thinks that it won't do good for him, that's why he still wanted to earn and do something new. He asked his wife Lucy, 40, a high school teacher, about his plan, but she told him that it is not the right time to open up a business since we are still in a pandemic. Maybe after all of this, when everything gets back to normal. Leo and his family lives at Governor's Hill Subdivision, General Trias, Cavite. When they get married, Leo and Lucy inherited the land from Lucy's parents. It is surrounded with by-grown vegetation from the west to the north side of the property. Along the south lies an existing house and more neighboring houses across its road right-of-way. Every morning, Mr. Santos likes to stay outside of their house while drinking his coffee. He likes watching the butterflies and listening to the chirping sounds of birds while the sun is rising. It became his routine, but something is missing. He's not that comfortable standing outside for almost an hour. Because of that, he wanted to have their house a porch. Leo thinks that a portico is perfect. It is a front porch that typically covers the areas of your stairs leading up to the main entryway to the house. He planned to give an area to add some chairs and plants. They will also get the benefits of shielding guests from the weather as they wait to be let into the house as well as an area to sit outside. Fortunately, his childhood friend June, 1 year younger than him, is an architect. He contacted and told him his plans. Architect June just finished his project, so he accepted his offer and told Leo that he will send the design to him after 5 days. 3 days later, Leo told Architect June that he doesn't want a porch anymore. He wanted to have an outdoor structure that will be put in their backyard. He wanted a pergola where it can extend their living space and increases the amount of time he can spend outside and can cast enough light shade to make even a warm afternoon enjoyable. Because of that, Architect June, who are almost done with the design, started designing from the scratch again. However, after hours of their phone call, Architect June called him again and told him that he has an important matter to attend in Baguio, so Leo needed to wait again for 7 days for the design to be finished. Architect June, who felt sorry, told him that he will give Leo a 20% discount. Few days later, Architect June returned from Baguio then went to Leo's house immediately, presented them the design and explained what materials they are going to use, which is a pressure-treated lumber for wood for any outdoor project should be pressure-treated. Pressure-treated lumber is a wood that has been infused with chemical preservatives to protect the wood from rot and insects. The wood is placed in a depressurized holding tank that removes the air and replaces it with a preservative. This process is the best way to avoid harmful rot and insects but does not prevent from weathering and corrosion. Architect Jun suggests that a pergola can cost anywhere from 140 to 200,000, already including labor, materials, and other costs. Mr. and Mrs. Santos approved the design with an excitement. For that, Architect June implemented the project right away. The pergola is going to be built on an existing concrete slab which is 3.5 by 3.5 meters. A total of 4 pieces 4 by 4 132 inches long PT lumber, 4 pieces of 2 by 10 144 inches long PT lumber, 14 pieces of 2 by 6 144 inches long PT lumber, and 5 pieces of 2 by 2 144 inches long pressure-treated lumber was used. It was said that pressure-treated lumber sells for 30,000 pesos for every cubic meter. The finished product is a blissful addition to any yard, a shady place to sit and read, eat and drink with friends, or